Do you hear the piano? I plugged in the wrong channel because it was too good to see. Or I can just
Hello? Okay, so this is experimental music class, and me, we're performing a
semester, and we'll be performing a poem by Kira there, accompanied by some music. Thank you.
Up next is performing a monologue, followed by a cappella 2, so please come on deck. Woo!
We will play one more little 4-minute experimental music thing before we go on to the next thing. That's the first time. This track you're about to hear is just a lot of work that we did over the term, and I just kind of compiled it into a sampler. All right, thank you.
Mrs. Whittle, could we have a house light? Thanks. They're gonna look at your faces while they're performing. So this is performing the monologue class. There are 5 of the members of the class that are going to perform for you. They're all going to do their contemporary monologues. They had to do a classical monologue and a contemporary monologue. And the order is Rain, and then Bennett, and then Teresa, Leaf, and Tristan.
My name is Rain, as most of you know, and I'm reading Rosencrantz's monologue from Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead by Tom Stoppard. Do you ever think of yourself as actually dead, lying in a box with the lid on it? Nor do I, really. It's silly to be depressed by it. I mean, one thinks of it like being alive in a box. One keeps forgetting to take into account that one is dead, which should make all the difference, shouldn't it? I mean, you'd never know you were in a box, would you? It would just be like being asleep in a box. Not that I like to sleep in a box, mind you, not without any air. You'd wake up dead for a start, and then where would you be? In a box. That's a bit I don't like, frankly. That's why I don't think of it. Because you'd be helpless, wouldn't you? Stuffed in a box like that. I mean, you'd be in there forever. Even taking into account the fact that you're dead, it isn't a pleasant thought. Especially if you're dead. Ask yourself, if I told you straight off, I'm going to stuff you in this box, would you rather be alive or dead? Naturally, you'd prefer to be alive, wouldn't you? You'd have a chance at least. Life in a box is better than no life at all. You could lie there thinking, well, at least I'm not dead. Any minute, someone's going to knock on the lid and tell me to come out of there. Hey you, what's your name? Come out of here.
Hi. I'm Bennett Boggs, and I'm going to be performing Orpheus's monologue from the show Metamorphoses. I don't know what power love has down here, but I have heard that he has some, for he has brought the two of you together. If that is true, that passion that has moved you once before, then listen to me. I have tried to master this grief, and I can't. I know that it is true that we all come here in the end. My bride, Eurydice, will soon enough be your citizen in the ripeness of her years. I am asking for a loan, not a gift. If you deny me this, then one thing is certain. I want you to keep me here as well. And that's it. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Leaf Baxter, and I will be performing Terry Malloy's monologue from Along the Waterfront. It wasn't him, Charlie, it was you. Remember that night in the garden when you came down to my dressing room and you said, "Kid, this ain't your night. We're going for the championship on Wilson." Remember that? This ain't your night? My night. I could have torn Wilson apart. So what happens? He eats the championship outside of the ballpark, and what do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville. He was my brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me. You should have taken care of me a little bit so I wouldn't have to do the dives for the low-end money. You don't understand! I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am, let's face it. It was you, Charlie.
I'm Teresa, and I'm doing a monologue from the 2023 Barbie. It's literally impossible to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we've always had to be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but you can also have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's too crass. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. You have to be a career woman, but also be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's bad behaviors, which is just insane. But if you point out, then you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women, because you're supposed to be part of a sisterhood. But always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget the system is rigged, so find a way to acknowledge that, but also be grateful. You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard. It's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything's your fault. I'm just so tired of watching myself and every single other woman tie herself into knots so that people will like us. And if all of that is also true for just a doll representing women, then I don't even know.
Hey guys. My name is Tristan King, and I'm going to be doing Jack Twist from Brokeback Mountain.
Yes, sir!
Yeah, we'll try this one. We could have had a good life together. Really good life. Had us a place of our own. But you didn't want it, Ennis. So all we got now is Brokeback Mountain. Everything's built on that. And I hope you know that if you don't never know the rest. You measure the times we've been together in nearly 20 years, and you measure the short leash you keep me on. And then you ask me about Mexico, and then you tell me you'll kill me for needing something I don't hardly never get. You have no idea how bad it gets. I'm not you. I can't survive on a couple of high-altitude boinks once or twice a year. God damn you, Ennis. You son of a bitch. I wish I knew how to quit you. Thank you.
Some setup required. So while we are getting the last microphone set up,
This is acapella 2. We are small but mighty. We are even missing some people, or missing a person because of AP testing. How could they? So we are small but mighty. We're not entirely all here, but we are going to sing 3 songs for you today. The first one we are going to sing is Building Bridges. If you have taken a class with me, you have sung this one before because I think it's a really good way to start building that ensemble factor together. Next we are going to do Lovely. The class got together and we all voted on one song for me to arrange for us to sing as an a cappella piece, Lovely One. So we're going to do that. That one is probably the most complicated piece that I think we've really ever, any of our a cappella groups have done here yet. And then the third, we are going to do an Old English round called Hey Ho. The cool thing about that one is when we have 6 people, it is a 6-part round by the end. We have 5 people, so it will be a 5-part round by the end, but we will make it work. So, without further ado...
Actually, with some slight ado, can we please get Theater for Change on deck?
Woo! Theater for Change, yes. All right, without further ado, let's see.
Building bridges between other visions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all our voices and all our visions, friends we can make such sweet harmony. Building bridges.
for that. Okay, all right, so we're gonna get started. Before that though, anyone who is in the monologue class, remember you have to submit your video unless you perform live, so you chose not to, so your video of your contemporary monologue has to be in the assignment in your Canvas thing. So make sure you submit that video. Oh, there's a zero, and it's a lot of points. Okay, so this class is called Theater for Change, Homelessness in the Fox Valley. We did this as a follow-up to Rent. So Rent, as you know, you all saw it, you were all involved in it, dealt with lots of issues, but one of those issues was homelessness. So we thought as a good follow-up to this, we would look at the issue of homelessness as it affects us locally. So we brought in pillars, they had a wonderful training session with us, let us know about homelessness and really opened our eyes as the fact that how much of a problem it is here. We don't think there's much homelessness in some place like Appleton, but there really is, and it's increasing. So once we got all that information, then we decided that we were going to either write an original play or take the words of those who are experiencing homelessness and let them speak for themselves. And they chose to do the second option. So everything you hear is not written by the students. It is taken from actual interviews or first-person narratives of individuals who are experiencing homelessness in their own words, what it's like to be homeless. And then in between each of the little monologues that we have, there's a screen that says People of Pillars. So Pillars was able to ask several of the individuals in our own community to give a quote or two about what it meant to experience homelessness. And those quotes are on the screen and will be spoken by the actors. And so we wanted to find a way to bring it local. So in between each monologue will be this little People of Pillars with the actual photograph of one of our neighbors who right now is experiencing homelessness, to try and bring it, you know, as close to who we are and where we are as possible. So we performed this first for a local church who has a big, strong homelessness initiative. We performed it on Tuesday to the general public, and now we're performing it here. So I think they're ready. I have to go back and man the sound. So, like, we'll start in like a minute.
Would everyone mind please being quiet so they can hear their cue? Thank you.
People pass me by.
I must not be here.
Sitting alone, down and out.
No one will come near.
No gaze from another.
No concern for me. I am completely by myself.
On this cold street. In the morning I awake.
From inside my cardboard home.
Where I slept the night before.
Unwanted and unknown.
Homeless I am.
Forgotten by the world.
Am I invisible? Am I invisible?
If you've never been homeless, it's tough to describe that first night sleeping on the streets. The fear and disillusionment are almost paralyzing. You just go through the motions, but at the same time, you're beating yourself up for being in this situation. Funny thing is, most people never think that they will become homeless. No one. I'll never forget my first night. All of a sudden, and without warning, I found myself homeless. I was sober, but I had no money, nowhere to go and no one to call for help. I was officially homeless. This was all new to me. I had no homeless training. I had no idea how I was going to survive. Just 6 months earlier, I had a professional job, but now I was the one who had suddenly landed on bankrupt. The irony was painful. I think it was around 3 a.m. when I finally found a park near a small shopping mall. It was empty, and the first place where I felt safe enough to lay down. Exhaustion quickly set in, and I fell asleep, and I don't remember how much time passed, maybe 10, 20 minutes, when suddenly the water sprinklers went off, and I just laid there soaking in disbelief. It's impossible to describe the mixture of fear, anger, vulnerability, and homelessness I felt as I laid there. Those of us who have been homeless can usually spot someone new to the streets, and it's not what they're wearing or their hygiene, but rather the look of fear and confusion on their face. No matter what circumstances may lead to homelessness, eviction, foreclosure, unemployment, addiction, mental illness, domestic violence, homelessness is painful. Now imagine, a personal crisis has hit and you no longer have access to money or a place to stay. It's now your first night homeless. What would you do?
My goal was, originally, to get a place before winter, because it gets really cold outside in the winter. I've been outside in the winter before, and it really sucks. It's really hard.
In 2001, I was hit with a series of events that changed my life dramatically. My son and I were living in an apartment, and within 3 months, I lost my job as a network engineer. My partner and I broke up, so he asked us to leave. And again, within 3 months, my son was being diagnosed with autism. So we ended up without a place to go. It was a really tough time. I was just stuck in this place where I didn't have any money to pay someone to watch my kid, so I could go get a job, but I needed a job so I could pay someone to watch my kid. At the same time, my son was diagnosed with autism. He would just... He cried 7 or 8 hours a day. But after I relied on couch surfing with some friends and passing through shelters, finally, I qualified for financial aid and enrolled at a local university. Eventually, I graduated and getting my biology degree.
I don't deal with rooming houses. I've been in a rooming house like that before where everyone was drunk out and cracked out. You leave to go to work and they come back to steal your stuff, and you come back and all your stuff is gone. So I don't want to go through that anymore.
I was raised by a middle-class family and have a private school and college education. Yet, the universe is cruel. And after my accident, I was left destitute, disabled, and homeless. Imagine, if you will, being disabled and homeless. What would you do? Go to a shelter? Most shelters are dirty, dangerous places. If you use Social Security, most shelters require you to give them nearly all your checks each month, leaving you with maybe $45 at most to survive the month with.
I'm the most noticeable target of thieves when it comes to living on the streets. It's always been like that. They attack me because they think I'm vulnerable, and guess what? I am. Look at me. An old disabled woman can't do anything but wander around the streets and ask for food while sitting in her wheelchair. I've been living like this since I was 40. My only son left me to go to another country with his friends to pursue his dream, leaving me here alone.
Along with this, most shelters also require you to leave early in the morning and not return until the afternoon. And for those who are disabled, it is often necessary to lie down frequently, especially if you suffer from chronic pain and fatigue like me. So with no money, nowhere to go, and constant pain and fatigue, for most, that means putting up with the shelters and the endless cycle of pain and sorrow.
I couldn't work my old job anymore, nor did I find a new one. Of course, who wants to hire an old disabled woman? I slowly ran out of money and got kicked out of my apartment by my landlord. When I was looking for a place to sleep, a group of teenage boys ran up to me, stole my wallet with my cash and my card, and just ran. Since that day, I've had to ask people for food and money. Some days, I don't even have anything to eat. Yeah, living on the streets was horrible. I saw someone get stabbed on the street over $5. I've heard stories of girls getting attacked. Things like that can happen to anybody. I'd always try to sleep by lit areas and main roads to avoid danger. I used to have people come up to me on the street and offer me money for sex, but I'd always say no. When you're on the streets, people just see you as a piece of meat and not human. I feel hollow. What do I live for? The only thing I gain from this life is just suffering.
I lost everything during 9/11 because I had a job for 13 years and 9/11 shut the gas station I was the manager of down. And I'm still trying to get my life together. You cannot give up because if you give up, nobody's going to help you anymore.
I have been homeless for about 20 years. I'm trying to find my kids, and I came out here to find them and their dad. I went through all the records and gave them their names and their birthdays, and they can't find them there. I didn't know how to find them. I've been on the street for 8 years. I've been looking for them since then. I tried getting into a drug program and straighten my life out and get things right, but I couldn't. I failed. That's why they took them away from me. That's what happened. I went away to use my drugs, and when I came back, I'd lost my kids. And I knew I was about to lose them, but the drugs were more important to me than losing them at the time. And now, I I regret it. I wish I could have gone the other way with it. Some people told me I could sleep in front of their store, but they prefer for me to wait till after they close. They got customers coming through, and you can't ruin it for them with their customers. So there's nothing else you can really do except either go somewhere else or to wait. There's not really nowhere else to go, so you just have to wait those hours. And then I get to lay down and go to sleep. I hope I can find my children one day.
Yeah, we shared a bedroom at first. Now I'm in a single bedroom.
But I slept in her room last night. That's how we became Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Honestly, sharing a bedroom is what made us closer. It was a little scary at first, though, not gonna lie.
I used to be a successful businessman. If you would have came up to me on my 50th birthday when I was traveling first class and said that I was going to be homeless just 8 years later, I would have doubled over with laughter. I consider myself a self-made man, made successful by my own hard work and good judgment. I was confident, believed I had an answer for almost everything. But when I first hit the streets, my answers came from the panhandlers and dumpster divers who called the place home. Suddenly, I was one of them, part of the ragged and faceless horde of wanderers. And among them, I unexpectedly found sharing, protection, and respect, even more so from the church workers. When I lived on the streets, I met many angels who fed and clothed me, and many others like me. I've known groups of women who have walked fearlessly down paths in the woods to bring food and clothes to homeless people in camps. Those women would take the dirty laundry from the camps, wash them in the night, and bring them back the next day with milk for the homeless children and diapers for babies. I am mystified at the disconnect between what's happening at the bottom and what's happening at the top. Face to face, one-on-one, I have met hundreds of strangers who are willing to help a person in need. And yet, the government bureaus and financial centers appear to be staffed by heartless robots intent on causing yet more destruction. We live in what we like to call the greatest country on earth. And yet we choose to let men, women, children live in the woods, on the streets, and in parking lots as if they were living in a third world country.
When you're homeless, too, it's difficult finding work without a permanent address. Thankfully, I had connections from when I was in college, and I was able to go back to slinging pizzas. Where do you start? Not everybody can turn around and say, hey, man, give me some money, give me some hours. Just having a place that's affordable, flexible, that really helps.
Myth. Homeless people are dangerous. They cannot be trusted.
Truth. People experiencing homelessness are much more likely to be victims than to victimize themselves.
Myth. Homeless people are lazy. They don't want to work and support themselves.
Truth. The majority of homeless people still have jobs. Many people are homeless because they cannot afford what a landlord is asking for rent.
Myth. Homeless people are just lying and trying to get a handout.
Truth. Homeless people are not dramatizing their stories. They're real people going through tough times.
Myth. If someone is homeless, it's because they want to be.
Truth. No one makes the choice to experience homelessness. Most of those experiencing homelessness are victims of a series of unfortunate circumstances, such as losing a job, suffering from a medical condition, loss of family support, crushing debt, or the lack of affordable housing.
Myth. Most homeless people are drug addicts, veterans, or mentally ill.
Truth. The average person experiencing homelessness in the Fox Valley is a 42-year-old white male with no family, not a veteran, and with no mental illness.
Myth. Homelessness is hopeless and never-ending cycle. A person who's homeless once will be homeless again.
Truth. Many other people experiencing homelessness recover and never have to experience it again. Many famous people have experienced homelessness, including Dr. Phil, Kelly Clarkson, Daniel Craig, J-Lo, Steve Jobs, and The Rock.
Myth. Homeless people are different from regular people.
Truth. Those experiencing homelessness are members of our community and deserve to be treated as such. They should not be viewed as a homeless person, but someone just like you and me who is facing difficulty. Homelessness is not their whole identity.
Myth. There is no real solution to homelessness. It's too complex a problem to fix.
Truth. Housing is the root of stability for all other things in a person's life. Once someone has a home, they can begin to work on all other aspects of building a better future.
Myth. Homelessness is a big city problem. It's not around here.
Truth. About 300 people are being served locally in shelters at Pillars.
Truth. There has been a 61% increase in families with children experiencing homelessness.
Truth. The issue has hit senior populations in our area particularly hard, with a 150% increase in people ages 62 and older living in pillar shelters at the moment.
Truth. When Pillars Inc. did their biannual point-in-time count to measure the number of people experiencing homelessness during a designated night, it found a shocking increase in the Fox City's unhoused population.
Truth. From January 2023 to January 2024, volunteers saw a 70% increase in the area's homelessness population. Truth.
My name is Kim, and this is my story. It all started when I was living with my father in my hometown. My dad, my sister, and I were living with my uncle. My father physically abused me, so I left and went to go live with a friend's family. I lived there for about 3 months. When I went to go live with my mom again, she kicked me out and sent me back to my hometown. She left me with a few clothes, and that's about it. When she sent me back, it was April. I was 14 years old, and it was the first time I'd ever felt alone. So I was living with some of my friends who had their own place. It was the worst place I had ever lived in. Most kids, age 14 or 15, would think I'd be living the life, not having to go to school and hanging out with my friends all day and partying all night. It was fun for about 2 months, but the house was always dirty and it stunk. There were animal feces everywhere. I slept on the floor. There was barely any food in the house, and when there was, nobody was allowed to eat it. There was no hot water, ever. There was always conflict between everyone. Finally, after so long, I moved out with another friend who was living right above my other friends. He was 21, and I was still 14. It seemed great then, but when I think about it now, what we were doing was wrong. We were having sex. But as the stupid 14-year-old I was, I thought it was okay, even though my best friend told me it wasn't. For about 5 months, I would spend the night here and there. I would steal food, anything I could do to survive. At this point, I felt like I had nothing. I felt suicidal and like I had nothing to live for, but then I would think about my sister and stay strong. The sad part about all this is that my family wouldn't help me with anything. When I wasn't allowed to stay at a friend's house anymore, I had to resort to the outside, sleeping on benches and slides at the park. For those 5 months, that's how my life was. lonely, and worthless. I felt that there was no point to it all until I met a family that I will never forget. They helped me with everything. I still felt alone, but like there was something to live for again. I got back into contact with my dad. He moved back to my hometown. My dad and I went to the Salvation Army, and they told us about a family shelter, so my dad's friend drove us there. Living in a shelter showed me a lot, like there are more people than just me who understand the things I've been through. There's also people for everything. Someone to help us find a place, meet new people, and someone to help us once we move back into the community. I'm 16 now, and all that happened in 2 years. Wow. I'm happy now. I'm no longer living with my father. I was removed by the Children's Aid Society as he became abusive again. I'm staying with a friend of the family with my sister. I am as happy as I have been for a long time.
When it comes to helping people, I want to be a spiritual advisor as well too. I feel like I need to get my voice out there to help the world see the bigger picture instead of the materialistic items. You can find everything in nothing. Because people have done it. Monks have done it. You let go of the feelings that don't serve you anymore. And when you do that, you leave room for blessings.
My name is Talitha. I have been on these streets for nearly 6 years. I'm 52 years old. Unlike most myths that surround homelessness, my story isn't one rooted in drugs or addiction or lack of drive. It was driven by forces beyond my control. I'm 52 years old, legally blind, facing multiple health concerns, and dependent on my daughter for support. My life took a downward spiral that eventually led to me losing my home. And because I'm a senior, I can't afford anything more than a few nights in a motel. I've tried seeking help in shelters, but they're just as dangerous as the outside. I've had to carry bottles of bleach to spray at people attempting to take advantage of me. Just imagine 6 years of that.
Here's the Navy and the U.S. Army National Guard. Being overseas, I was in combat areas. There are some things I have seen that I will never forget. The Veteran Affair says it's all in our minds, that we can't forget it. It's here until we die. I'm just taking it one day at a time.
My name is Sandra Fuller, and I was in the U.S. Navy for 4 years, and have just finished a Veterans Affairs drug addiction program, and was living in the emergency shelter for a while. That's my goal. That's just my #1 thing right now, is to get out of the shelter. I was an electrician in the Navy for 5 years, working on F-14 Tomcat fighters at bases in Virginia and California. When I got out of the military, I had my first son. I got addicted to meth. I don't know what caused it. My mental condition after I got out of the military. We're still trying to figure that out. So meth was a way to stop the nightmares and stop the mental condition. I've been battling ever since. I get 3.5 years sober and then I relapse. This is the first time I've had Navy or military support. So many of us come back mentally broken, come back physically broken. It wasn't easy being a woman in the military. There was rampant sexual abuse when I was in. So many women were hurt physically and mentally, and it was just miss. Because when you're in the military, you're supposed to be strong. I think it's true that veterans are more likely than civilians to be homeless. We try to come back, and that's where we have problems. It's like the cross between two worlds. There's a lot of misapprehension about people in the military. A lot of people who don't understand us, let alone want us around. We're not bad people, we just go through changes. Being in the military challenges you in a psychological way to then be able to go back and be a part of civilian life, whether it's just getting along with your family or being a part of a workplace without suffering from PTSD effects. I got out a few years ago, and at that time it was just, here's your sheet of paper and things you need to do to get out, and it was just kind of like, good luck. I sacrificed so much for my country, along with my mental and physical well-being, and received little to nothing in return. I am really struggling to get over all of the psychological effects and get back to work, so, I can't really afford to pay rent at the moment.
I've been looking for affordable housing for 5 years, but it always seemed like I was in that weird bubble where I made too much to get assistance, but too little to afford it myself. It was just this cycle, and it was getting frustrating after a while.
I'm a professional photographer, living homeless with a cart full of production gears. Living on the street can get many things stolen, so I have so many creative ways to keep my goods safe. I try to stay in safer areas when I go to sleep outside at night. I'm what most homeless services call high functioning, which makes me not qualify for those. While everyone should have adequate housing, there are not enough resources to go around for all the people that need help. The sector then prioritizes, and people like me are left to fend for myself. To change homelessness, all anyone has to do is care.
We didn't know there were late fees, so the late fees got added onto that. We tried to fight it, but they didn't care that she had cancer. They kicked us out within 3 days. We had to get out. It was just my daughter and myself, and we're both disabled. In the move, she got hurt.
I was diagnosed with Asperger's at age 3. I was not able to express my feelings exactly the way I wanted to when I was younger. My mom wasn't around to help me due to her being at work all the time, and my dad wasn't really around due to incarceration. It's hard, me getting bullied in school because of my Asperger's. All I could do was just sit there, bottle all my emotions and feelings up. So, I drew it out, like a coping skill. My name is Corey, and I'm a 22-year-old single mother that's currently living in a shelter with my 8-month-old daughter. I do art as a living to support me and my 8-month-old the best way I can. About my housing situation, I'm in a shelter right now, but I have to be out of there by the 28th of this month, so technically speaking, my 3-month program is up.
now I'm staying a little bit here and there. I want to own a house. I don't need a $500,000 home or anything, but something that you can just call your own.
I will never forget my first night. All of a sudden, without warning, I was homeless. I had no money, nowhere to go, and no one to call for help. It was horrible. I had no idea how I was going to survive. I still don't. It's impossible to describe the mixture of fear, anger, vulnerability, and hopelessness I felt, and still do feel. And it's that feeling that made me realize what homelessness really means. It's more than just a leg of housing. Yes, homelessness has as much to do with social exclusion and stigma as it does with bricks and mortar. But that doesn't matter to the majority, despite the fact that we who are homeless are suffering in need of care and compassion. We are seen by the masses as less than human. Whenever I see a kid, they look at me with disgust and contempt. To most, we are equivalent to objects, something which is only enhanced by the masses' legitimacy of negative treatment against the homeless. We may be the lowest of the low. We are still human. A soul in the street with nowhere to go.
A heart that still beats, though it's lost its home.
A mind that still thinks, though it's filled with woe.
A life that still exists, though it's on its own.
Invisible.
The rain beats down with no shelter in sight.
The wind howls loud through the dark and lonely night.
The cold grips tight. Every moment feels oppressed.
The weary body fights to find some way to rest.
Invisible.
A heart that once laughed now has more reason to weep.
A mind that once dreamed now can find no place to sleep.
A soul that once sang now cannot find its voice.
A life that once had meaning, now lost without a choice.
Invisible. No warm embrace to chase away the chill.
No gentle voice to soothe the aching heart.
No loving smile to bring a brighter day.
No hand to hold to guide them through the dark.
Invisible.
But still they rise with courage and with grace.
Still, they survive in this unforgiving place.
Still they believe in a brighter tomorrow.
Still they achieve what was once impossible to follow.
So let us truly see the homeless on our street.
Let us offer them love, a warm bed, and a meal to eat.
Let us help them find somewhere to call their own.
Invisible no more, and no longer all alone.
very similar to one might see in Keeping Up with the Karenins. Anna Karenina is a wonderful novel about the struggle of choosing between a rural life of moral simplicity and a passionate yet complicated life that comes with modern society. As we were reading this book in class, a lot of us noticed that the plot seemed very similar to one might see in a reality show or a soap opera. So for our final project, we have created Keeping Up with the Karenins, a reality show based on Anna Karenina. We've included some quotes and references drawn directly from the original text, also some silly, funny, goofy things that we put in ourselves. We hope you enjoy Keeping Up with the Karenins.
Previously on Keeping Up with the Karenins.
And with our nanny?
Dolly, listen, it's not that serious.
You always say that.
Don't
and
even
another thing,
it's
your
very
mustache is ugly.
Some people like it.
He cheated on me with our nanny. I mean, what am I supposed to tell the children? Sorry, sweetie. Mommy and Daddy hate each other now, and because this is 19th century Russia, we can't get a divorce because we're upsetting members of society. At least Steva's sister is visiting soon. She's so beautiful and calming and wonderful. If she was a man, I would have totally married her instead of Steva. If I wasn't a woman in 19th century Russia, I could still be divorced by now.
Dolly, wait.
I don't know how to fix things.
I'm so sad and single. I wish I could have a wife to live a rural life of moral simplicity with. She's so beautiful.
I'm 17 years old. I'm having a party this weekend. I've invited this cutie named Vronsky, and I think he's gonna propose.
How old is he again?
Oh, he's like super young, like 30 or something. My mom thinks he's a good match, but there's also this guy, Levin, who I've known since I was really little. Super sweet. I think he's into me.
Are you into him?
I mean, maybe, but it's not like I could choose him over Vronsky. It's arranged and everything. It's probably for the best. Hey, Lev, what's up?
It's nothing, young Prince Sherbatsky.
Well, you should come to my cousin Kitty's ball tonight.
I didn't know her when she was a kid.
Yeah, you did, and she was in here like a teen. That's not weird at all.
Maybe I'll learn to
You should. Come in. I think so.
You look beautiful.
Mom, stop.
Oh, right. Oh, and there's a gentleman here to see you.
Bronson?
Well, no, the other gentleman.
Levin! Hi! You can call me Katya. Be casual.
How'd you get that from Levin?
Well, it's actually my first name, Constantine. There's actually a very interesting name and nicknaming convention in the Russian culture. Sorry, I'm rambling. So there's this something that I've been wanting to ask you. You know how we've known each other for a really long time, and I've always admired your sisters, and you, of course. So I was just wondering, would you?
Oh my God.
Kitty, would you marry me? Kitty, will you marry me?
Levin, I'm so flattered and you're very sweet. I'm sorry, I can't.
I hate everyone, including Kitty and myself. There's something certainly something objectionable and repellent about me. I just want to be Connor's Cochon wife.
You did the right thing, Kitty. Your father may like Levin, but I know that Vronsky is the right guy for you.
I just wish there was an older woman here at this ball who would serve as a mentor and narrative foil to my motivations and lifestyle. Maybe someone really beautiful and mysterious and...
Look, it's my sister. She's talking out of divorcing my husband.
Wow, I wonder if that's some sort of foreshadowing for a situation Anna might find herself in later in the novel.
Hey Anna, come over here and tell my sister how important marriage is. And commitment and duty are.
Dolly, you look beautiful. If we weren't women and also both married to men, I would be in love with you. And you must be Kitty. Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
How are your husband and children, Anna?
Oh, they're great. Little Sergey's growing up so fast.
Oh, how does he like that train set Steve and I sent him for Christmas?
Oh, he loves it. Like just the other day, he was playing pretend that there had been a terrible train accident. But enough about me. Kitty, I hear you're engaged.
Yes, if all goes well, we're expecting a proposal from Count Vronsky.
Vronsky? I think I met his mother on the train. She and I witnessed this terrible train accident. A man was run over by another train.
Look, Kitty, there's Count Vronsky. Why don't you go and dance with him?
All right. It was nice to meet you, Anna.
Ooh, Princess Ekaterina, congratulations on your debutante ball. You can call me Kitty. But of course, here to dance, Kitty.
Okay.
What's up? My name's Vronsky, but all the ladies call me Alex, and the government officials at my high-ranking government job call me Count Alexei Krylovich Vronsky, but you can just call me anytime. Listen, I came up to this party to pick up this freshly 18 babe named Kitty. She's sweet, but now I'm seeing this older woman, and I mean old. She's in her late 20s, so pretty much entirely past her prime. But it's like hot somehow.
Are you talking about Anna Karenina?
Yeah, dude, she's so mysterious and gorge.
Dude, she's married.
That's hot.
Alex, Count Vronsky.
Don't harsh by the titles, babe.
Titles? What? Harsh the... I'm gonna take a break from dancing.
Sick. See you later. Hey girl, you want to keep eating shrimps with the lips, or do you want to eat lobster with the monster? Targeted? Les dents.
I do like your representation of passion and the literary dichotomy of the choice between passion and beauty.
Okay.
No, there's something about you. Something about you and your terrible dancing that it makes me want to start a list of therapy.
Ha! Sick! I think I nailed it.
I can't believe that Anna danced with Vronsky. Maybe she's less of a mentor figure and more of a narrative foil than I thought. And I already turned down Levin. I wish I had accepted his proposal and chosen to live a rural life of moral simplicity with him. It would definitely be better than this complicated life of modern society.
Meanwhile, at the Corinne house.
Alexei, when did you get here?
I took the train soon after you. I returned from my important business trip to be with my lovely wife.
Well, I'm just so tired out from Kitty's ball and...
From dancing with a different Alexei?
Haha, what?
I heard through the grapevine that you're choosing a life of passion over a life of duty. Think of your legal responsibility to me as your husband and your moral obligation to your children. Don't. It's fine if you want to keep seeing him, just don't let society know about it. And keep it quiet and don't let that
me into my house.
Lindsay, wait!
No! I'm so upset. I don't even want to have our scheduled cuddle time from 9 to 9:15.
Okay, hear me out. Is it really cheating if they have the same name and they serve as two sides of the concept of the different aspects of society and duty versus passion?
Still yes, I'm pretty sure.
But is it really cheating if your husband is okay with it as long as it doesn't happen in his house?
Yes.
But what about if you feel really guilty about it and you only stay with the man you're cheating with because you're isolated from society by nature of your relationship?
I still fear that's cheating.
But what if you divorce your husband?
Well,
I chose Wix for my business because of its
and because of that. Hello. Okay, we're gonna make this short and sweet. But in costume design, we learned all sorts of things. We learned about historical periods. We learned about the design elements, going through different fabrics, what we would use them for, the shapes, the silhouettes, all those things that help tell the story. And we spent quite a bit of time learning the basics of things, hair, a little bit of makeup, but mainly we focused on directorial concept and this idea that the director picks a play, but they get to decide the mood and the theme and the story that goes along with it. And so we took things like Little Red Riding Hood and we put it in a post-apocalyptic kind of environment and how did that change. A lot of the students decided to kind of do an overview of costume design. So if you looked in the Fine Arts Festival yesterday, Ray did Romeo and Juliet, but it was kind of set in the 50s and 60s with their little monogram sweaters. Some people chose to design if Twilight was a musical, not the weird one on Instagram, but an actual one, what those costumes would look like. But two people decided to actually make their costumes. If you didn't get to see Elliot's, make sure you ask for it. But Jordan is going to come out in a second, and she took Dorothy down kind of like a steampunk yellow brick road. So making her own skirt and putting it all together, here's Jordan with her directorial concept of what Dorothy would look like. That was everything. Next up is Big Heads. So Big Heads is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's a class where we get a bunch of plaster. We actually went on a run to Goodwill to get a bunch of things to put our heads together, literally. And this was the result. So first up we have Dahlia Demon by Alex. Having a gorgeous smile inspired by the Cheshire Cat, explore the love swallowing the deep woods and eating men, as well as occasionally basking in the sun to photosynthesize. Woo! Okay, so next we have Wendy Williams from The Masked Singer by Chloe. No one opens the door
members of our improvisation troupe. We had a great show last night in the Commons. Big crowd. It was wonderful. Everybody had a good time. This isn't everyone. These are just a couple of our seniors here represented, and the rest of the underclassmen that'll be in improvisation next year. And so we're going to start off first with a game called Add a Word. And I need the bell. Run back and get the bell in the bag. Okay, so Add a Word it's a line game. So it involves everybody in improvisation. We have 2 lines, and they're going to step up, the first 2 people in the line, and they're going to have a conversation on a topic that you suggest. But they can only answer 1 word. Thank you. 1 word. The first person will start off the conversation with 1 word. The next person starts with 2 words. The next person with 3 words. And they'll keep going up until one of them messes up by either having the wrong number of words or they wait too long before they can say something. Then I ring the bell, they both go to the end of the line, and we have the next 2 step up. So here we go. Let's play Add a Word. I need a topic for the conversation. We'll keep switching topics.
The tropical rainforest.
Okay, I heard Comic-Con. You can do Comic-Con. Ready? Here is Comic-Con. Get ready and go.
Whoa!
2,
That's loud.
3,
You're too loud.
4,
Your costume sucks, but.
5,
Excuse me, Althea, you jerk.
6,
You cannot be talking, weird face.
7,
That was so rude. Your face. Ugly.
Let's do new topic. Shoestrings. Shoestrings. Everyone's favorite topic. Here we go.
Pink?
Not really.
3,
Why not blue?
4,
Wait, pink or blue?
5,
Maybe both. Purple chance?
6,
Wait, so I'm confused. Pink, purple, blue.
8,
Why not do green then, if you're confused? Bennett?
They can't end with bro, and they can't end with man, any of that stuff, but the name I'll accept. 9,
Why don't we talk about your shoes? Mariah, friend.
Okay then, friend. Why don't we talk about your gross shoes?
11,
My shoes are not gross. They are perfectly acceptable shoes. Bro.
new topic. Starbucks. Starbucks. Everyone's favorite place to have caffeine.
Ew, gross.
3,
What? Why gross?
4,
Because it is?
5,
Nuh-uh. This not gross.
6,
Well, I don't like it. So, stop?
7,
Yeah, I don't like bald people. So...
8,
I'm not bald, though. That's kind of random, Gordon.
9,
Well, I was just stating the obvious here. Dude.
No dude. All right, new topic.
The safari.
French what? French class. French class.
Bonjour.
Uh,
3,
How are you?
4,
I think I'm good.
5,
In French, please. Mon ami.
6,
Oh shoot. I shouldn't have lied.
7,
Lied about what, my friend? You
Okay, new topic. iPhones. Okay, here we go.
Ding.
Two.
Ding. Hello. Ha! You suck.
Funny laughing cat emoji.
Five.
I hope you will die. Oh!
Six.
Oh, hi. You're standing here. Bud.
You get one, that's it. 7.
I am standing here because I rock.
8.
Then why wouldn't you just say that here?
9.
Because you don't deserve to see my amazing face.
10.
Well, I am right now, so you're kind of stupid.
11.
Do you want me to take away your phone? So, yeah.
12.
Do you want me to give you a knuckle sandwich? Bud, stop it.
13.
Yeah. I will throw down so hard, right here, right now, 'cause you stink.
14.
All bark, no bite, Shea Wiggins. You won't lay a finger on me. Shea.
14. No, 15.
Will lay all the fingers on you. In fact, so many fingers will hurt.
16.
That's kind of weird. Why do you want to give me so many fingers, Shea? Huh?
17.
Because more fingers equals more pain, Tristan. I want you to suffer incredibly because you stink.
18.
You know what I think about that, Shea Wiggins? I think you're wrong. I think fingers wouldn't hurt. I think they're good. Yeah!
18.
I'm
19.
Tristan King, my fingers must have never touched you before. Because they hurt a lot. Just ask Joe Rogan.
Don't bring Joe into this! He doesn't deserve it! Don't mess with my Baldy Waldy hero. Joe, I name Rogan.
21.
I hit Joe Rogan so hard, he is not on Earth anymore. Tristan King, Joe Rogan is dead. He can't breathe.
22.
Nuh-uh. You're wrong. I watched his episode the other day. with that one guy who says the crazy things. I can't remember his name. Oh, Kanye West! Yeah!
25.
Tristan King, are you admitting to being a Kanye West stan? Is that what this has come to? Are you really a Kanye West stan?
What do you think?
Honestly, I don't think.
I saw where that was going. Okay, we have we have time for a game called Distraction Action, which is line game 2, and then we'll do one called Beastie Rap. So let's have you two stand in the middle. Shea, you're going to be a distractor to start with. And what happens is that they're going to have a conversation. We'll ask you for a location, and then they're going to be at the location, they're going to have a conversation. And Shea's job is to make them break character. So if they break character, they go in the line, we switch out, we get a new distractor, and so she can do anything. She can get in their face, she can, yell in their ear, she can say whatever in order to get them to laugh. Okay? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Chuck. Oh, yeah.
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster. Red Lobster. Red Lobster. It was my first date with my wife, Red Lobster, and now it's gone. Bankrupt. In bankruptcy now. So sad. All right, here we go. Ready? Red Lobster, go.
Princess.
I'm actually more into Blue Lobsters.
I can't help but notice that you're
unless you're allergic.
Princess! Look at me, Princess! Princess, please! Princess!
We just invented it like yesterday, so I think you'll like it. It's pretty fire. Wait, let me go get your food while you're doing order.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good does it smell?
Okay. Does it taste
this
good?
is just the newest appetizer.
Yeah, can I try it?
Yeah. Wait, aren't you a server? Aren't you supposed
No, I'm your date.
Okay, all right, Shea failed. New one. They're good. Step to the back. Let's have a couple more. All right, new distractor. Who wants to distract? Great, Corgan. Here we go. Ready? New location.
Piano lesson.
Not location, but the thing. Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble.
Oh, hey, that book's really dumb. You should read this.
That's a
Let's talk about female anatomy for a second.
I mean, only if you read right side,
Okay, I'm more of like the Harry Potter
This is the book I was talking about.
Are you not a Harry Potter person?
I mean,
Look at this one. Look at
See,
this
if
one.
I were to read Harry Potter,
Looks
I would
like a
just
cow
read,
skull.
I would just read other books.
You're telling me
All
that you're a
right,
Percy
fine.
Jackson?
Whoa, bro. Don't
That's like
even.
possible the spectrum over here. I don't think that we're ever gonna be friends. I know I've never met you.
I'm the
I
weakness.
don't think that we'll ever be friends.
Greek mythology is so much cooler than wizards.
I'm sorry. If a guy can ride a broom, I think that's a little bit cooler.
Percy Jackson. Right. I'm not a success, not a failure. They're never this good in rehearsal.
I love
All right.
Percy Jackson.
Okay, one more. Who wants to distract? All right, good. Ready and go. Oh, Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower. Where? The Eiffel Tower.
In France?
In France, yeah. In France. All right, good.
Oh, there's so many stairs.
Walking up the stairs?
No. I haven't climbed that much in my life ever.
I climbed, I like practiced a few times. There, 3 times.
Help me! I'm giving birth!
And then I did it again the next day. And then
It's yours! Both of yours!
Fire! How high up we are.
well, I do have bionic legs, so.
Oh, that's not fair.
All right. My God, it's like a, okay, one last time. One more. Distractor?
Wait, can me and Shea duo?
Duo distractor. Who hasn't done it yet?
I haven't done it.
Billy and Courtney. Okay, here we go. Location. Where? Russia. And go.
Well, hi there.
Alright, guys.
Let's do this
Let's
show.
do this.
My name is Franco! And we're gonna do this!
Good, yes! Good job! Okay, and for the final game, this is an all improvisance game called Beastie Rap. And so they're going to go into 2 teams, right? With a leader of their crew. Shea's going to be our beatboxer, and they're going to basically have to rhyme in a contest. So let's say I'm going to ask you for 1-syllable names, and then they're going to have to each rhyme to that back and forth until they can't think of a rhyme, and then we'll give that winning team a point. So for instance, let's say the name is Joe, right? So you're the head of your crew. Who's the head of the crew over here? For the example. Great, okay. So the name is Joe, and let's start off first with Ada. Lay down a beat.
I know this cool guy, and his name is Joe!
It was real white. It did.
No!
Okay, and they go back and forth. And as soon as somebody messes up, then they lose, and the other team gets the point. So can I have some, real quick, some 1-syllable names?
Joe, Tom, Rose, Steve, Fred, Tom, Bill, Shaq,
Okay, I got it. We're good. All right. Okay, the first name is Ben. B-E-N. Ben. Break it down, say it.
I had this cool guy, and his name was Ben. Oh, I didn't know how to miss that. I didn't know.
That's right. Start again.
Start again. Okay.
They have to say, right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yo, I knew this cool guy, and his name was Ben.
I have these 2 dolls named Barbie and Ken!
I have this many fingers. I have 10.
I just did that over and over again!
I knew this cool guy from Russia, and his name was Ben.
Okay, team 1, you get to start this time. The name is Tom, T-O-M. Tom. Bring it out.
I knew this cool guy, and his name was.
He was super cool. Yeah, he was the.
Go! All right, tight score, 1-1.
Tom, right?
Yeah, Bob. All right, great.
That's not my fault.
All right. Are you ready? The name is Bree. B-R-E-E. Bree. Or B-R-I. Bree. Bree.
This cool guy, and his name was Bree.
Don't say the name. They did.
Yeah, he took something from the store. Yeah, it was Bree. He went down the mountaintop. Yeah, he had 20/20 vision. Yeah, he could see. he went to the forest, yeah, he sat on a tree. Yeah, he was my best friend, he liked me. Yeah, when he was scared, yeah, he would cheat. Yeah, he had legs, yeah, he had a knee. He went to the bathroom, yeah, he went pee. Yeah, he had a friend, his name was me.
You won. This one, win it or tie it. The name is Mark. 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 You guys start. Corkin, you start. Bring it down.
I knew this cool guy and his name was
Mark.
He had a nice car, yeah he did. Park.
Yeah, this guy told on the teachers, yeah, he was a
narc.
He wasn't Noah, but he had an ark.
Thank you very much. We are in Provincetown. Look for us next year. Thank you.
Thanks everybody. Have a great weekend.